It's the Mixed Martial Arts Hour with
the Mixed Martial Arts Hour back in your life on this Monday, July 25th, 2016. Hello again, everyone. I'm Ariel Helwani, back inside our New York City studio. Hope you had a lovely weekend. It was a beautiful one here in the New York area, and wow, what an interesting one in the world of mixed martial arts. The best part about it all is right off the top, we don't have to talk about PD violations, drug tests, sales, unions, things of that nature. We need to talk about some actual fights, some athletic competitions, some surprising results, some interesting fights, some big news. This was a fun weekend in MMA. I needed this weekend. Beginning Friday, Bellator had a topsy-turvy event. How about Darion Caldwell losing in what some odds makers are calling one of the greatest upsets in the history of the sport? How about that? How about Mackenzie Dern looking pretty darn good in her MMA debut, though I thought her opponent, Kenya Rosas, was equally impressive in the amount of heart that she showed. Of course, it was a very dominant victory for Mackenzie Dern, but still, Rosas was just unbelievable to watch, fending off all those submission attempts. And then the big news, of course, Holm losing to Valentina Shevchenko, the pride of Kyrgyzstan. Valentina Bullet Shevchenko defeated Holm on Saturday night in Chicago, Illinois, main event, the 20th UFC on Fox event, in a fight that I thought Holly won the first round, and then Valentina won the next four. Figured out Holm on the feet, was able to really dictate where the fight went, on the feet, on the ground. It was a masterful performance by a fighter who should probably be fighting at 125 pounds, let's be honest. It was clear that there was a major size difference in favor of Holm, but that was not a factor. In fact, you can argue that Valentina was actually the stronger fighter physically. A couple times there, it was like, wow, Valentina Shevchenko is a beast and certainly a force to be reckoned with in that division. Now, on Saturday night in my wrap-up video with Luke Thomas, I called the bantamweight division a mess, and I don't want that to be taken negatively. I actually feel like this is more fun than when there's a dominant champion. In the past, I've said that I like dominant champions, but sometimes it's fun when there's this unpredictability to a division. And let's be honest, this is not Rhonda Rousey dominating the bantamweight division circa 2013, 2012, 2014. I think the division has gotten a lot better. I think the top of the division is very dangerous, as seen by the last few months. I wonder how Rhonda does if and when she returns. This is a much, much improved UFC women's bantamweight division. Take nothing away from Holm, take nothing away from Valentina Shevchenko. Shevchenko went the distance with Amanda Nunes, and Nunes now the champion. So much to discuss as it pertains to that division. Also, Edson Barbosa continues to look good since moving to New Jersey. Full-time, linking up with the great Mark Henry, he defeats Gilbert Melendez, Francis Ngannou. It's Ngannou. Not that hard to pronounce. Francis Ngannou with a big win on Saturday. He continues to be a name to look out for in the heavyweight division. So there's some fun results to talk about. And of course, the fun never stops this weekend. It's the return of Invicta. It's the return of World Series of Fighting. They've got that weird brother versus brother matchup. And it is the return of the UFC with UFC 201. Tyron Woodley finally gets his crack at the UFC welterweight title against Robbie Lawler. Of course, we'll talk about all of that and more. Stack show this week. I'm excited for this lineup. Let's get to it and kick off the show the right way. 4:15, we'll talk to Mark Hunt. He has been in the news. A very interesting interview Mark Hunt gave to his own website talking about the UFC, quote-unquote, lining their pockets with the fighters' blood, calling for a fighters' association. Mark Hunt is a fired-up Aussie right now, and he is pissed off. Now, will he be fired up when we call him at 6:15 a.m. his time later on in the show? Well, we'll find out. Usually he's pretty on point, regardless of the day, the time of day. So that's 4:15. 3:55, we'll talk to Michael Page about, of course, his win over Cyborg Santos, the injury, where he goes from here, the Pokemon stuff, all that. Around 3:05, we'll take your questions and comments with New York Rick, who is back from Virginia. He attended the Glory event, so perhaps we'll talk about that as well. Chai Lewis Perry with a nice win over there. The karate hottie, Michelle Watterson, will stop by at 2:45. She faces Aisling Daly in September. That was announced last week. Daniel Leith, who is a nutritionist for the likes of Daniel Cormier, Cain Velasquez, Luke Rockhold, Khabib Nurmagomedov, and many others. He is the partner of George Lockhart, who you've heard on this show. He is a great guy, very smart guy. A lot to talk to him about as it pertains to health-related issues in MMA. So I'm looking forward to that. Chael Sonnen will stop by. Does he have some big news? Something big happened to Chael Sonnen last week. We'll talk about that. The aforementioned Khabib Nurmagomedov will stop by at 145. Where does he fit in that lightweight title picture? And the aforementioned Mackenzie Dern, the BJJ star herself, multiple time, I said that sort of like a Brazilian, multiple time jiu-jitsu winner. She's beat them all. She's won it all. She'll stop by after her successful MMA debut at around 125. But first, I wanted to start this week off with my good pal, Julianna Pena, because she is very much in the mix in the 135-pound division. And I noted on Saturday that I had a feeling she was watching that main event very closely. We'll find out if that was indeed true. So let us go to the phone lines and welcome in the Venezuelan vixen herself, Julianna Pena. Julianna, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Good to hear from you. How are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you doing, Ariel?
I'm doing great. It's great to have you on the show as always. So was I right? Were you watching the main event on Saturday night?
Oh, I sure was. I wouldn't have missed it for the world.
What'd you think? Did you think that Valentina Shevchenko deserved to win that fight? Let's get that out of the way.
Yeah, I think she deserved to win this fight.
Were you surprised that she won?
No, I wasn't. I've been saying for a while now that Harmless Holly couldn't hurt a fly, especially in a 5-round fight.
Harmless Holly? I have not heard that one before. Is that your own?
Yeah, it's a little nickname.
Do you think Holly Holm was overrated?
A little bit, you know. I think that she kind of got thrown into the mix and got into the top 10 after, you know, beating up, you know, some people that have not, you know, been around as long. So I think that she got really lucky with the choices of opponents that she's had.
So given the fact that Holly is this big name because she beat Ronda Rousey, she loses, and Shevchenko has a loss recently to the new champion, Amanda Nunes, was that result great for Julianna Pena?
I think it was good. I mean, to me, it's just like left me thinking, well, who else do they have? You know what I mean? I'm the only one in the top 5 that's coming off of a win. So,
wow.
I mean, the choice is very clear for me.
What do you make of the division right now? All these champions losing. You mentioned only one in the top 5 coming off a win, of course, other than the champion herself. Some have theories as to why this is happening. What's your take on why all these big names are losing in that particular division?
I have no idea. You know, I just know that the division has been changing a lot more now that Rhonda's not the champion, and this is what I knew was going to happen after that.
Well, how did you know? Why did you know?
Just because I feel like Rhonda's kind of a one-trick pony who's kind of been, you know, just being able to rack up all these wins and being so dominant. I knew the second that she would lose, that it would be more of an open division for the rest of us. And once she was exposed, you know, that it would be a lot harder for her to even first off get back in there, and then second off, you know, get back in there and win her belt back, no less. So I think it's good for the other girls to finally, you know, show the world that there's other 135-pound women out there other than Ronda Rousey.
Do you agree with the statement I made earlier that it's unfair to compare the current women's bantamweight division to the one of 2 years ago when Ronda was winning in a matter of seconds, that the division in the last couple of years has improved rapidly and, I mean, it has made major leaps and bounds? Would you agree with that?
I would agree that the division has completely changed more now than it was, you know, 2 years ago, and I definitely think that is important so that, like I said, everyone can see that there's a lot more stiffer competition out there than one girl.
So I saw that you were tweeting on Saturday, retweeting a lot of people saying that you deserve the title shot. Not just saying this because you're on the line, I agree. I think you deserve the title shot. And this is not my way of extending an olive branch to you as well. I speak the truth. Have you been told by the UFC that because Holly Holm lost, you will be getting the next shot at the title?
No, I haven't. I haven't been told anything by the UFC. I'm just waiting over here and waiting to hear what they have to say.
You told me before 200 that you were going to bench yourself if you don't get a title shot after beating Zingano. Do you still feel that way?
I'm not going to stonewall anyone, you know what I mean? I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, I'm not fighting. So I'm just going to, know that I have, the facts are on the table, and I'm just going to hang out and wait for them to come at me with an offer, basically.
Are you confident that you're going to get the shot next?
No, I don't have anything in paper in writing. So the second I sign my name on the dotted line, then I'll know that it's a real thing, and then I'll get excited and be confident.
It has been said many times by the UFC brass that whenever Rhonda decides to come back, if she comes back, she's getting an immediate title shot. Do you think that makes sense? Do you think that is fair to the rest of you?
No, I don't think it's fair. Absolutely not. But I know that Rhonda is a big part of the reason as to why we have a division in the first place. So, you got to pay respect where respect is due, and I definitely respect her for the fact that she was blazing trails in order to get us into the UFC in the first place. So she's a big name. She sells a lot. That's the money fight, and they definitely want to see her with her belt back. So if she decides to come back, I'm sure that they're going to give it to her.
If you can play Rhonda for a second, you see what's happening here to Misha and Holly. Does this, in your opinion, make her want to come back sooner, or does this make her rethink even coming back? Like, wow, as you said, the division is a lot tougher than when I was the queen.
I think that she's going to definitely rethink things, It's not the same, and especially when you are gone so long and not competing, there's so many things that play into your head, and especially if you're not injured, then you're just kind of sitting there every day, like, do I go back? Do I get myself back in camp? Do I hang out and keep making movies? What do I do? And so I think that she's got a lot of decisions that she needs to make, and I think she kind of enjoys the fact that the rest of us are waiting on her, figuring out, well, is she coming back today, or what about next week, or has she been training this week, and so everyone's just kind of sitting here waiting on what she wants to do, and it's kind of annoying, but
yeah, I'm sure you love that.
What am I gonna do?
Right. I mean, you know her sort of well because you were on the show with her, and you've been around this game a long time. Do you think that she comes back ever?
No, I don't know her well enough at all, but okay. I definitely think that she's coming back eventually. Yeah.
Did you notice on Twitter after the fight, Amanda Nunes said that she thought you and Shevchenko should fight it out for the number one contender spot?
Yeah, I thought that was really funny.
What do you can you expand on that?
Yeah, what was the tweet exactly again? That she thought that
the exact wording
that I haven't proved myself enough.
Yes.
I haven't proved myself. I don't know how many more times I can prove myself. When I was on The Ultimate Fighter, it was just Rhonda and Misha, in the division winning back then while I was winning on The Ultimate Fighter. When Rhonda got out, or when The Ultimate Fighter got out, Rhonda was still winning, and then I got injured, and then when I came back, I was still winning, So I've been winning this whole entire time. I've been winning since stepping foot in the UFC octagon. I've been consistently winning since stepping on that show, So I don't know how much more I can prove myself. I think that's pretty funny. It just sounds like, she's ducking, the both of us, because she just got in a fight with Valentina. She knows what she's working with, and she knows that, I'm just getting warmed up in the third, so a 5-round fight with me is going to be atrocious. And she knows that I'm going to stand right there in the pocket with her and throw blows, So I definitely don't think that she welcomes that, and she's kind of biding her time as much as she can.
So that's
all it sounds like to me.
I'm looking at her Twitter now. She says, I won the first fight with Valentina Shevchenko by unanimous decision. If I fight her again, I will beat her again, this time very clean. Then in her next tweet, she says, I feel she needs to prove herself a little more. I think you versus Valentina, a winner comes to me. So perhaps she was actually saying that Valentina needs to prove herself a little more. upon further reflection.
I don't know what the heck she's saying. She needs to prove herself a little more. You're the champion. You should be expecting any and all oncomers at any given point in time, you know?
I will agree that I don't like when a new champion starts playing matchmaker and saying these two people should fight, you know, and the winner fights me. I always find that that's a weird look. She was on this show last week, and I did specifically ask her about your win over Kat Zingano. Of course, she fought Kat Zingano not that long ago, and she specifically said that she was not impressed with your performance. Do you have a reaction to that? I don't know if you heard that and have thought about it. But
yeah. Well, I'm not impressed by her performance when she fought Kat Zingano either.
Fair enough. Why is that?
I mean, because she got beat, she got stopped, she got knocked out. You know, so like Kat is a world-class athlete. And I was able to do what she was not able to do against Kat Zingano. So what does that say?
Are you surprised that it's taking you this long? I know you had the injury, but I feel like coming off The Ultimate Fighter, given your fan base, it really feels like you have now been one of those fighters that really has to like work to get that title shot. For some fighters, it comes easier for whatever reason. But to me, this almost feels like a no-brainer. And again, I'm not saying I would have said this if you were not on the show, especially after what happened on Saturday. This is the no-brainer of all no-brainers. And yet I feel like you do have to go out there and campaign a little bit. Do you feel the same way? And is that annoying as well?
It is annoying. It's annoying and it's embarrassing. I feel like I shouldn't have to do this song and dance and shout off onto the rooftops like a wild screaming banshee being like, give me my title shot. You know, it's like Holly beat the oldest lady in the division, Marion Renew. She beat like two old ladies, and then she went to a draw, which was like a coin flip on who won the fight, Pennington or Holly, and she gets a title shot. You know what I mean? Coming out of thin air, you know, like Betch Kohea beats Shayna Baszler, who didn't get past me on The Ultimate Fighter, and she gets a title shot just by, you know, waving her hand. You know, like these girls are. You know, Misha got her second title shot after being 1-0 against Rhonda after she beat. Jessica I, she got another title shot to campaign against Holly. It's like, I beat Jessica I, nothing happens. You know, I beat Shayna Baszler, nothing happens. And Shayna Baszler was in the top 10 back then. You know, I keep beating these people that other people have beaten. They get title shots and I don't get title shots. So it is annoying, you know, but I know that in anything in life, you got to work hard and you got to work for stuff. And if I want this, then I just have to keep working, you know, and that's what I plan on doing. And I think that that's the main focus is, you know, you want something bad enough and you're not going to stop and you're going to do anything in your power, whatever it takes to make that happen. And I'm going to do that.
We had a chance to catch up after 200, and I appreciate that, but I forgot to ask you about your walkout song, which I thought was maybe the best of the entire night. It was Crazy on You. And dare I say, really, it really represents your personality very well. And I thought that was brilliant. Where did that come from?
It actually came from my favorite person, Dana White.
Oh.
And, yeah, he picks my walkout songs because I'm pretty, I'm a little superstitious sometimes when it comes to some fighting things, you know, fight week, stuff like that. And I always have to walk out to a random song, so I leave it up to Dana, and then he chooses the song that he wants me to walk out to. But the last, like, 3 songs have always had, like, the word crazy in it, because he calls me his little crazy train, because he thinks that I'm nuts, so... He put, like, Crazy Train by Ozzy Osbourne last time, and then this one, Crazy On You by Heart, so... I think he just tries to find as many songs as he can that has the word crazy in it, and then I'll just walk out to that. So I never know what I'm walking out to till the second I'm walking out to the cage.
You're kidding. You don't want to know?
No, I swear.
Wow.
No, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. It's too much. It gives me anxiety just having to, like, think of my favorite song that represents me the best. You know, it's like the song doesn't matter. Just play the song and let's go.
There's not something motivational about the song that, you know, you've used in training that you want to get pumped up. Like, what if this song is completely off and just throws you off seconds before you're about to walk in the cage? You don't worry about that?
No, because that's why I leave it up to random, so I don't have to worry about what it's going to play. What motivates me is knowing that I haven't heard the song. I have absolutely no idea what's going to play, and then they just start playing my song, and I'm like, all right, this is my song, you know? So I'm pretty familiar with a lot of music, too, so it's not like I have been unfamiliar with, you know, the sound of the music the second I start walking. The second I start walking, I'm like, okay, this song's badass. Let's do this.
That's amazing. So how do you feel about him choosing songs that have the word crazy in it? Are you okay with that?
Well, I'm the one that called myself crazy to him in the first place. When I first met him, I was like, hello, I'm Julianna, and then after a while on The Ultimate Fighter, when I started to, start having panic attacks because you're locked in there like a caged animal, I'm like, I'm going crazy. Like, I'm a crazy train right now, Dana. Like, you got to get me out of here. Like, I'm going nuts, And he's like, calm down. There's nothing more important right now. Back in Spokane. Don't worry about it. You're going to be fine. Like, let everybody do their thing. You just focus on the fight. And I was like, okay. So he's called me his crazy train ever since. And so that's just kind of my nickname from him, I guess.
So are we keeping this going? Like, even if you fight for the belt, become champion, you're going to keep changing your song every time?
Well, I don't know, because, so I let him pick all my songs, right? And then this last time, he replayed a song that he already played for me. But I think it's because he really thinks that it, fits me well. So I don't know if he's going to keep it like that. I hope he changes it, because I'm kind of superstitious like that. But I got to let go of these superstitions, you know what I mean? Yeah. It absolutely matters zero if I pick a song or if I don't pick the song. I just think it's something fun to give him something to do, and give him some control over the show. So if he likes to do it, then I'll let him keep doing it. And if not, then maybe I'll just start picking my own songs.
Did you enjoy that experience, being a part of that big weekend? It was an insane one with all the news and drama and stuff. But for you personally, looking back at 200, being a part of that, the last fight before the pay-per-view, over 1 million and change watched. Did you enjoy the experience?
Yeah, I did. I know that people like to see me fight, and it's really exciting to know that I broke the numbers on Fox Sports 1, and over 2 million people were watching that, and to be fighting on free TV where most people could watch me as opposed to paying, the pay-per-view money is exciting. I don't think that a fighter gets as good of an opportunity like that, especially on the biggest card. So for me, it was a dream come true, and I just really enjoyed the role that I played, which was very nice and easy, and not some crazy, hit mitts and show everybody what you're working with for a half hour, where they could take pictures and stuff. Like, I didn't have to do any of that, so I was like, this is awesome. It was a nice, smooth week for me.
And do you feel like that win over such a big name sort of signifies that, all right, Julianna Pena is officially back, the injury is over, you're fighting, at 100% full strength, you are there? Like, I kind of felt like that was symbolic in a way, that you needed that big win to really tell the world that you are back, the injury's over, it's now in the rearview mirror. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, everyone always got me pinpointed as some underdog the whole time. I've been an underdog for every single fight that I've had, and they underestimated me on the show. They underestimate me in my career. They underestimate me, even being a champion and fighting for the belt. But, if that's what makes them happy, that's fine. More power to them. But I'm going to do what I know that I can do and what I'm capable of. And that is, I want to be recognized as one of the best female fighters in the world. And I want that to go down in history. I want to be recognized as one of the best. And the only way that you're going to be the best is to get that belt and to be the champion. And I've just been so ready to show people for many years, even when I got on The Ultimate Fighter, that I am the force to be reckoned with that I've been saying all along. And, I'm going to kick, scream, punch, shout off onto the rooftops if that's what I have to do. But I need people to understand that, I'm very serious when it comes to mixed martial arts. I'm very serious about being the champion, and I'm very serious about my career and the fights that I take and just fighting in general. This is my passion. This is what I love to do. And I just want that to be, displayed for everybody. I want them to enjoy it as much as I enjoyed, and I want them to, give me the respect that I deserve, the amount of respect that I would give to anybody else who has put in as much work as I have at this point.
Are you wearing sunglasses right now?
I'm about to.
All right, because that last answer was very sunglass Julianna, like, I'm not taking no crap from nobody. All of y'all are pissing me off. Enough of this crap. I'm going to get my belt. Like, it was very businesslike.
No, it's very annoying. I have to be like, listen to me. Give me a title shot, I swear. It's like, no. this should have been done a long time
Yeah.
ago. What did I need to do? Did I need to like come off of 3 losses and then you guys give me the title shot? Like,
Get
what's
knocked
going
out.
on here? Like my grandfather says, what's the big idea?
True or false? Julianna Peña's next fight will be for the UFC title. What do you believe?
True.
True. Will it be in 2016?
I don't know. I guess we gotta figure out what
That's
Miss
not true or
Nunes
false, though.
wants to do, and her whole not being impressed and stuff like that. And I haven't proven myself, so maybe she'll want me to prove myself in 2016, or maybe she wants to keep her belt warm for a little bit longer for 2015. I have no idea, but whatever she wants to do, I guess.
But
I'm ready.
Yeah.
Whatever they want to do, let's go. You know what I mean? Let's do this.
yes, I love it. But if they say like, yeah, we want you to fight this person before the belt, you're saying no.
I don't know what I'm going to say. I don't imagine hearing anything other than you're going to be fighting for the title.
Are you preparing yourself for Rhonda's return and potentially being disappointed?
Yeah, I mean, I was already disappointed before because they just didn't say it right away that I was getting the title. So I've already cried over this a couple times. So
Legit?
and I've dealt with some other bigger issues in not getting what I want. So it'll just be like, oh, of course you don't get the title shot, but that's negative. And I don't want to think negatively. I want to think positively. And so if they don't give it to me, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But in the meantime, I'm just staying hopeful that, this is the clear-cut choice. This is the clear-cut answer. And it's the fight that makes sense, and it's a fight that people want to see. So
What did you cry about in the past, recently?
Oh, there's just been other things, just dealing with daily life, problems that people have to deal with that, people get told no and on certain things all the time. So it's just one of those. It's just another one of those things, and you're either going to let it stop you and your life is over, or you're going to keep pushing through and keep working through it. And so, like I said, I'm staying positive in the fact that I think that they know that I want a title shot, and they know that that's the choice that makes sense. If I don't get what I want, then like I said, I'm just going to have to keep moving forward. But I'm just going to stay positive and believe that, my company wants to see me fight for the belt and they want to see me be the champion.
2 last quick things. Is everything good back at the gym in Spokane? You feeling good there? You feel like you're firing on all cylinders, all that stuff?
Yeah. It's good to be back home in the 509, and
Yes.
It's awesome being here. I love my community. I love my gym, and I've been traveling back and forth between LA and Chicago and Spokane for these last camps, and so I'll probably still do that since I'm going to be in LA a lot and going to be over in Chicago. So I think it's important to switch it up sometimes and to just do some things that are out of the norm, and I'm going to continue to do that.
Are we cool again?
Yeah, I think so. You said that you were extending the olive branch, but I thought I already gave you this olive branch after the press conference at 200.
Well, that was off camera, so publicly I just wanted to assure everyone that we were cool.
We're totally cool. We're cool like the other side of the pillow.
Oh, yes. Rest in peace, Stuart Scott. He's the one who came up with that line on SportsCenter.
I saw it on a cartoon a long time ago when I was a kid. That's fun.
Well, you know what? He may have stolen it from the cartoon, but I think he popularized it. I'm happy to hear that. It really shook up my world when I thought that we were in a tiff, but now I think everything's back to normal. So that makes me feel a lot better.
No, like I said, you were talking about like the week at 200. I think that seriously, it is so stressful, and there's so much anxiety building up for the week of the fight, that like the time that I get to have the most fun is messing with the reporters and giving the interviews. And
yes, you're great at them.
First off, I'm not wearing sunglasses just to wear sunglasses on this last time. I had like the worst black eye in my entire life that I've ever gotten in my entire career the week before the fight, and my eye was just bloodshot red. And not only that, but the lights are so bright in there. With all those lights, dude, it is super bright. And so all those cameras in your face is like, I had to hide my black eye. It was sensitive to the light. Like, I'm not wearing the sunglasses to be Mr. Cool. I'm just trying to, hide some black eyes and stuff.
Well, I think you're Mrs. Cool, for the record, but it's good to know. I think you should just keep going with the sunglass thing for,
I do too. I feel like it's our thing kind of a little bit.
Yeah, it's good. Well, this has been fun. Thank you, Julianna. I hope you get that title shot. Great job laying out all the facts. Good luck in getting it. I hope they make the right call. And I appreciate you coming on and voicing your opinion after a big weekend in your division this Saturday.
7-0, Ariel. I'm 7-0.
Preach, sister. Talk to you soon. Thank you.
I'll talk to you soon. I'll talk to you later. Thank you so much.
All right, there she is, Julianna Peña, making her case for the women's bantamweight title shot in the UFC.